Alright guys, do you fancy doing another one? Oh, let's get it up. Last night, let me give you a bit of a recap, yeah. You know the door transition level stuff, which was a bug where it stopped doing the animation and then it stopped doing the sprites. It took me. I did an hour and a half on one of these videos. I haven't published it, and then I turned it off and I just kept going, and I cracked it. And a little bit of insight on the world settings. There is, where have you gone? Here, enable streaming, and each one of those was ticked. And I tried everything. Animations worked, but not for the sprites. Even fresh sprite animations I literally made there and then to make sure it wasn't some incompatibility between whatever. That was it. Every single level had streaming enabled. I can't remember enabling it, but when it went wrong in June, I'm guessing it got ticked. I don't know if like the engine upgrade ticked it or whether I ticked it, but either way, if I show you it now, you will see the door works. I'm gonna go back. You'll also see the like that's normal. The door enter sequence video animation thing, but the door exit. I did a V2 last night as well because normally it looks like he's kind of shooting in, but yeah, I copied and pasted the door enter, and then just reworked the animation the animation, yeah, the rotation of the yaw to make it swing like a door. And yeah, so I fixed that issue and I fixed like 6 bugs. But right, let's get to this one in particular. Okay, what do we have? We've got 10. So F5 0 9 9. Okay, this one. There you go. Age as well. The bottom one's the oldest one. Okay, yeah. Let's have a little look at this. Bug with storage slot, where I put the same item on top, drag and drop. Okay, all right. Let's try and make it. So we're talking storage slot and inventory. Right, you'll have to let me off with the way the item pickup stuff looks at the moment because it lost all the pickups. Right, if you're wondering how I did that, right click and move around looks. Left click and right click, move like that, and then just left click and move, just zoom in, zoom out. I'm trying to get the hang of it. But yeah, let's get to it. So we need, I said medkit, didn't I? So let's do health small. And I said when that one has it as well. So what we're going to do is just to brute force it, because I also fixed the storage slot stuff being like white items. Here we go. This is like a chance randomizer. Kind of zoom. It won't let me zoom in. But yeah, so let's do 100% chance to get at least one, potentially 2 medkits. Loose wire and scrap will still come through as like white. That is simply because when the daft thing forgot wiped all the item info in all these blueprints, where have I put it? Consumable. When it wiped it all, the only thing that was viable was its name. So if we go in here, you see, what? It's fixed itself, but not this one. There you see, it's like the hot dog. So yeah, it wiped it, unfortunately. So if you see white stuff, that's that. So what we're going to do, we need to replicate. So there's a medkit in storage and there's medkit in the inventory. We drag the inventory medkit over to the storage one. So first of all, we'll drag it, then we'll do right click, I don't know, double click it or like right click, grab or whatever, and then we'll then try and push it back to it. I already have a feeling I know exactly what function is the problem. Oh, that's way too big. I can't even pick it up. Should work. Should work. Let me lower the scale. Make them all move at the same time. Oh no, it's not make it all move at the same time. It's lock it. Oh well, I don't like it anyway. Let me go in here and change it item level. 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. It is. This will be getting a overhaul. There is something called a data asset which Unreal has released, and rather having all your item info in these consumables or like a data table, like here, all the item info that has not been upgraded in a long time. There's a concept of having data assets which look like pinky purple coloured version of like these items. You know, that's how it looks on like you first see it. So you crack it open, but it's like this, but pink and purple. So that is on the list. It's on there, I think, over the next couple of months. Right. So we shrank it. There we go. There we go. It does pop up. Oh, it's some collection issue. Right. Give me a sec. Let's get around this by going to the test level. That's something to do with the storage text, like period, like it's on and then it's off very quickly. I think there's something battling it for, I guess you say like ownership, you know, like input allowance. You know, when you go up to something and you do like on collision input, allow input, I think something else is fighting it. It might, it's doing on this one, but it lets you get away with it. Right, okay, so that will just say consumable because those are those items which are wiped, so that's either scrap or something else. So when we drag it over, maybe I can do a bit bigger. So we drag it over. 3, that's fine. That's fine. Right click, collect, that's fine. Split stack, 2. Drag it over. Empty. Ah, is that the issue? I don't know if I read it properly. Yeah, it was inventory to storage. So storage to inventory, lovely, fine. Inventory to storage, not. Right. Let me show you something. One of the first things I ever learned by doing loads of YouTube videos a year and a half ago, which I imagine you'll probably be doing as well, is the inventory. Like, that's like the first thing that comes into your head, isn't it? Oh, I collect stuff, where do I put it? And this one has some functions. One of the functions is called move from storage to inventory, and I believe this storage one, which is under storage, who would have guessed? I feel like if I don't see it, it won't be obvious, because, you know, I could always stick it anywhere else, couldn't I? Storage BP, that one has moved from inventory to storage. So you see storage to inventory, inventory to storage. It's very similar because it was made by the same guy and I just copied it. So let's just try and do like a very crazy way of just, can we see any difference just on the top? Alright, so let's look at the top. So inventory slot, get item index, add item to index, remove item index, same. Same middle. Let's look at this section. Local inventory, local storage. Local inventory, local storage is empty. Let's look at this section. I know I could do it side by side. So this bit, and then we'll do that bit, and then we'll do that bit, and then we'll do that bit. And then we'll just follow the logical flow after. Local inventory, local storage, local inventory, yeah, it's all fine. It's all fine. It's going to be the opposites, isn't it? Where it says inventory, it's going to say storage, essentially. We're looking for anything where there's obvious change. Max stack size. Okay. Plus greater than, less than. AB, add to local amount, add to local amount. It's a local variable, I'm guessing. Okay. There won't be an issue with the variables being the wrong one anyway, because it's different blueprint. So I'd need to cast it and then deliberately say inventory dot variable, even if it were global rather than local. Remove index, increase amount at index. Same name, but it's under a different blueprint. So same function, different item. So that's not a problem. All looks sensible on the front. So let's step back and what is happening. So we are triggering. So we trigger the move, and the move triggers the use item at index. So the issue is inventory going to storage, inventory slot to storage slot. So logical flow time. Yeah. So we get where it's going, where it's coming from. If the is empty, let's try putting it into an empty first, just to make extra sure. Fine on an is empty. Split. Fine on an is empty, not fine on a not is empty. So false. So is local inventory. Move from storage. Wrong one. This one. Is local storage in false? So it's this section. There's something here going wrong. You see. This is the best way. This is the best way to like figure stuff out. I find. I suppose most people probably do it this way. People that find the issue do anyway. Right. So it's empty. No, it's not. Do they match? Yeah. Does the inventory does the medkit in the inventory match the medkit in the storage? That's fine, I think, because it's just a struct. I know it's called inventory slot, but it's just a struct, you see, to hold like the shape of something. I don't think I've got. Do I have a storage? I don't have a storage item struct. It says the inventory slot. That storage struct is something I've made, so I have to keep all the persistence. So you know if you've got 25 storage things, all the same type, but they're slightly different. Allow it to all of them to be unique. So that's fine because that's just saying the slots. Storage slots and inventory slots shares the same because the item we're looking at uses the inventory slots struct, regardless of where the item's on the floor, in the sky, in someone's pocket, in the bin. It's always going to use this. So that's not the problem. We're definitely in the right one still. Yes, we are. So, true, true. True? Yeah, correct. Is get item info, break it. Can it be stacked? Yeah, yeah. Have I done it? I'm sure. Can be stacked? Yes. Stack size 3. Okay, you know what we should do? We should try and stack it a 2 to a 1 or a 1 to a 2, or essentially, add it up to 3. Right, so it's fine if we are equal to or less than the maximum stack size. But then it works that time. But then we split it, let's split it again. It's fine again. Right click, yeah, we've got it back. Let's split it. It's fine this time. Right, let's split it here. Is it to do with it not being in the first slot? Right. Fine. Not fine. It's to do with it being in the not. So this works cool. That's fine. This is fine. Max size, stack size is fine. That's not the problem. The problem is when we try and add it to the stack of an already present version of that item, grab from inventory, move it to an already present in storage. We stack it, but it's not in the first slot, so it's not slot 0. So anything but slot 0, that's the problem. It's losing it at that point. So local slot storage is 0, get item. Is it that? Because that's defaulted at 0. Does local slot storage ever 0? So we need to look at how this function's being fired, because whatever's feeding this in is not feed. This is the problem, I believe. This, don't worry about being a 0. This is a placeholder. Something is firing that function. So let's just double check. So for local store, so that's true, true, true. That's cool. So we're into this section now. This one, all the way through this flow. Max stack size. Max stack size take away the item. If it's greater than that, so is there a remainder, then add the remainder to local amount to add. Increase at storage. Add the remainder to another thing. True. Then remove item index in the imagery. Right. Let's double check. Is that it? Okay. Next test. Let's. Oh, you can't stack it if you drag it between there. Oh, separate functionality. So I'll need to add it into storage. Maybe. So let's make it overflow. Yeah. Let's make it overflow. You know, if we put it in slot 2 and we drag it over, it disappears, doesn't it? Let's put it in slot, well, it's slot 1 essentially. Let's put it in slot 0, the first slot. Make it overflow and see if it moves it over in the remainder. So 3 remainder, whatever. See if that puts it into the next slot. It allows you to stack past it. Very unusual. Yeah, you can't. So the stack values don't. Huh. Oh yeah, it didn't disappear, it stacked it to its appropriate one. Right, so it doesn't stack to a true value. It doesn't recognize the limit of 3. So that's something we've got to look at, but we also need to look at this. But let's take a step back. We wanted to look at what is firing this, didn't we? So move from inventory to storage. That's the problem. Storage to inventory, cool. We do need to get it to segment it, stacks. One more test. I need to test the space bar to see if that factors in stacks. Alright, so spacebar understand. No, it didn't understand it stacked, did it? It was 5. It should have been 3 remainder 2. Okay, we need to look at this. So what would be using a storage blueprint? This would likely fire the storage blueprint. Find results. Nothing. Have I done it directly on the user? No. Is it on the storage container? More than likely the answer is yes. Master container, because you see the storage BP, which is like storage is inventory, and then this has that inventory, but this is like the container, it's like this. So the actual item, you click this and then open storage BP. Mysteries. Is it just fired within itself? Update slot index. Storage slot. It might not be there, it might be on the widget slot. Update slot empty. Update detail widget. No, it's not detail widget, that's when you hover over it. It's not that, because that's just to do with the textures and the icon. That's the Atlas texture is fine. It's like it's technically a workaround for me to be able to do something clever. I did a video on it ages ago. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it makes life easier. I think it lets me use textures instead of sprites as icons. No, it won't be any of that. What is using that then? We need to find out what's using that move from inventory to storage, unless it is the inventory slot. No, because that's looking at this individual slot. It's not looking at that. Is it not that? Is it the wider widget? No. Could be on a drag. Could be on one of the drags. No. The actual storage widget on a drag. Is it even used? You know what? Let's kill it. Kill it, run it, see what it breaks. I don't think it's used. Huh. It is used, okay. So it can't read it in the add weight. Oh, I've still got an event dispatcher. Alright, well, this doesn't matter anyway. Wait. I'll change it. Because it can't pass over the information. Wish there was a way to say what is using this. There we go. But it's only going to be itself. Oh, is it the main widget? It can't be the main widget, but I said this before and it was the culprit. No. Is that right? Freaking riddle. Oh, that's something I did. I did like a Metal Gear Solid thing, you know, number one where you could change through it with the shoulder buttons, change through your equipment and then your weapons. Got it working, but I might pop it back in at some point. Right. Storage. Oh yeah, that's if you press spacebar. Yeah, that's fine. None of them. It really should be the inventory that gets this. Yeah, so move from inventory to storage on the storage blueprint. So it should be the inventory that's then inventory or the main character that is feeding this information. Sensibly, it would be the inventory because the inventory would have, by default have access to the inventory index. So it's either a drag operation. It's either a drag operation that has access to it, or it's the inventory, or it's the player. Sensibly, I hate the way it doesn't put event graph there. God. But it doesn't find it. Move from storage to inventory. Yeah, that's the other way around, isn't it? So is there anything else using that? this is all the same thing. This isn't the culprit. That, is it that? Increase item at index 0, the first index. But if it's not index 0, that's when it goes wrong. Cool. Works. Doesn't work. I think it's this. I remember freaking removing this a very, 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 very long time ago. It can't be. I must have done it for a reason though. But anyway, doesn't matter. We want index plus the amount at the thing equals update slot. So index no. But how do we increase amount of index? So the amount at the index plus the amount of the index being fed through. I don't think it's as simple as me just sticking index to index, because then that'll just duplicate itself. Let's see. Fine that way. It is that simple. Split it. We do have the issue where it's not listening to the stack. It's not listening to the stack max, unless you might have played State of Decay 2. Other games might have it as well. Resident Evil has it. The inventory chests, like you can only hold a certain stack amount of an item in your inventory, but then you put it in the storage and that can hold significantly more. So for example, bullets, you might be able to have like a stack of 60 in State of Decay 2 for 7.62 ammunition, but you put it in the inventory and it's all stacked into just one big massive thing. Because sensibly, if we talk, I know realism's a bad choice, but if we talk in this, right, let's talk theory. That is bigger than your pockets and your backpack, isn't it? So even if it's only got 8 slots, which again, does seem silly, but you think it could have way more. If your inventory has 8 slots, you think a storage would have like, I don't know, 40, like that size. But beside that, ignore that. 8 slots for 8 unique items. You could maybe fit 3 medkits in your backpack, but let's say you could fit 20 medkits in this, couldn't you? Realistically. Perhaps I need to have a discussion with myself around weight capacity or size capacity. And PUBG, remember I played it a little bit ages ago, and it was about a year after it being really popular. And Resident Evil 4 actually, the inventory case, like the cache case, whatever they call it, it's not to do with weight, it's to do with volume. So you pick a gun, and a handgun might take 6 squares, but you pick like a rocket launcher and it'll take what, like 16? And it's the squares. Oh, Deus Ex as well. Deus Ex, yeah. Like, you pick up something massive like a Gep gun, that takes up like 16 slots, but you pick up something like the Silence, like Stealth Pistol, that takes 2. Or is it 1? Might be 1. But you understand where I'm coming from. we need to migrate inventory from the classic wait and slot. The Resident Evil slot idea combined with a wait idea, but wait just slows you down. Wait doesn't stop you picking stuff up. Wait just encumbers you. Perhaps we need to move away from slot and wait to some form of slot, wait, volume, like vector, like 3 variables that control it. So if you had a shotgun, that's going to take up, Resident Evil does that as well, actually, even the originals. Shotgun takes up 2 slots, handgun takes up 1. But you equipped it, when on my game, when you equipped it, it goes into the equipment slot. So technically, if you needed more space, you could just equip loads of stuff. If you could equip a shotgun to get 2 free slots, you equipped a handgun to get 1 free slot. But, okay, cool. So we fixed this bug. I swear I did it. I swear I remember literally right-clicking it, thinking it had fixed something else a long time ago. I'll add in a feature element to do with size. That will then mean I'll need to change the thumbnails to be 140 length, 70 height rather than 70 by 70, to essentially stretch over 2. I'll also need to do a thing where if it is this, like if it's a 2 slot or a 3 slotter, then drag these slots, like drag that 1 into 3, and then that 8 then becomes 5 because no, 8 then becomes 6 because it's 5 slots plus 1 big slot. Okay, there's a lot of extra work there, but this is me going way off reservation. I've had too much caffeine, but we've fixed it. We've fixed this bug. Thank you for your time. Let's get on to the next one straight after. Bye bye.